How's everyone doing? Thanks for joining me on my small engine repair channel. Today's project, I'm working on this snapper, sort of residential lawn tractor. But the video is not going to be on the snapper. It's going to be on this new winch that I installed in my garage here. So I'll just talk a little bit about it, and then I'll kind of show you the inaugural rising of one of these lawn tractors. All right, guys, so I'm working on the snapper riding mower for a friend of mine, and I'm going to have a few videos out on, or at least one video showing you everything I got to do to this thing. But a couple of the things I need to do to this are going to require me to get up and underneath there. For instance, this blade, I don't know if you can see that, but the corner and the back side of that blade is just chiseled away. That's supposed to be pretty much square, so I'm gonna have to replace this blade. The other thing I'm gonna have to do is replace the friction disc on the transmission, which is actually in the back side here, right in there. You can see that black rubber right in through there. So I'm gonna have to replace that. But again, it would be a heck of a lot easier if I could just go ahead and lift this thing up, because to get under here just with a jack, jacking it up, that's not going to be the greatest thing to try and get that blade off. Certainly not to get the friction disc off the back there. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and get myself a winch, just a cheap winch. I think this was $75 at Princess Auto, which is kind of the equivalent of Harbor Freight in the United States. It's a 2,000-pound winch. It is 12 volt powered, so DC powered instead of AC. So I had to grab a spare battery, and you can see here it's just up on my shelf. So I've got that nice and charged up, but I've installed the winch and this bulkhead. So this bulkhead here is for at least 2x10s laminated together across the width of my entire garage, because my kids' bedrooms are upstairs right up above here. So that's going to be a support beam across the entire width of this garage. So I ended up bolting it all the way through to the back side of that bulkhead and putting lock washers or lock nuts on each side and just tightening it down. So there's 4 of those going straight through the beam, about 9 inches long each. The other thing I've done, and I'm not going to show you this probably on this, maybe I will, but I've put a ring here that is also got lag bolts into quite a large size lag bolt that goes right into the bulkhead. And what I'm going to use that ring for is for as a backup. So when I got this thing up in the air, then I'm going to hook up that I'm going to hook up a ratchet strap up to that ring and hook it up somewhere here onto the tractor, just as a standby or a backup in case something ever happened with the winch. So that's about all I can tell you about the winch. It's fairly, I wouldn't say easy installation. I've spent, better part of half a day kind of getting all this set up the way I wanted it. And we're going to go ahead and test drive this thing and see how well it does in getting up, picking up the front end of this guy. Now, in the older snappers, they would have like a bumper or like 2 support rails off the back end, which you can actually then kind of rotate and flip the mower up on its tail end. This one, unfortunately, does not have that. So what I'm going to do is try this out. If I need to, unfortunately this strap is a little long. I think it's a 20-foot long strap. I might go back and get, you know, a smaller one. Because what I'll do is allow me to have more lift capabilities. Here's the control panel for this thing. So you just got one button for up and one button for down. So here we go. I'm not going to stand right next to it. Just going to bring this guy up. All right, now just gonna just pulling it because the back end is just dragging on the ground there a little bit. So I'm just pulling it a little bit forward so it kind of goes more vertical. And that's about all the travel I have. Now, that's going to be a fair amount. I should easily be able now to get underneath here and take this blade off. I can probably get a better look at that as well. So you can see that's just worn away on the corner. This one's just as bad. So I'm going to have to replace this blade. But that friction disc I was talking about, that's right there. You can see it's kind of cracked. So I'm going to have to replace that guy. So I can probably do that while I'm under here. And then you can see there's some cracks in these boots, the shaft boots. So I'm going to have to replace those as well. So I think this thing's going to be pretty invaluable. If I needed it to be more vertical, like I said, I'm going to have to get probably a smaller strap, because that's the maximum travel I have on that winch at this point. So anyways, I think this is going to work out really nice for my shop when I'm working on these riding mowers. So I don't have to get a sort of all the way on the floor and lay down flat when I'm working on these things. So anyways, guys, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Maybe it'll help somebody out with some other ideas. If you guys have any other potential ideas or comments on the video, please go ahead and leave it down below, and I'll certainly respond to any of your comments, and might even try a tip or two if you guys have any. So thanks again for watching, guys, and please consider subscribing to my channel, and until our next project, take care.